Hey, so how are you doing? This is Nomad with Urban Nomads, and I want to give you an update on what's going on. So basically, I am I've been for the last 4 months uh, in a since since November Thanksgiving of 2017 in a house sharing situation, which is like my third house sharing situation. I've been doing house sharing for the last year and a half in LA. That's where I live in Los Angeles. So basically, right now I'm in San Pedro, which is kind of a little fishing town on the outskirts of Los Angeles, and it's a really cute little town. If you ever are looking to live in LA, this is definitely a good spot. It's inexpensive. There's not that many people, and the people are nice. Um, but basically, I've been here and for about 4 months, and anyway, now I have to go, and um, so what's going on is that basically I've decided to go into the RV thing, RV 2.0, my second attempt at that. Uh, as you may or may not know, my first attempt was with an RV I called the Ugly Green Thing, which was a good learning experience. It could be a disaster or a learning experience. I mean, however you want to look at it. But yeah, at least I'm laughing about it because it was crazy. So if you want to learn about the Ugly Green Thing adventures, just look for that on my channel. So, but anyway, that didn't work out, so I was forced to do a house sharing situation. I mean, I'm just trying to pay the least amount of rent as possible. So, um, what we ended up doing was renting a room, and it's five of us, me, my wife, and our three kids, who are older. They're older kids. They're teens now, but we all scrunched up in that room, and it's actually a cool room. It has like a attic storage area that's pretty big. It can actually be its own room, like a bed fits in there. So it's really like having two rooms. It's got a big closet. It's great space. And it's in a townhouse, which is really nice. Two-bedroom, spacious townhouse in a really nice area of San Pedro near Palos Verdes, um, on the side of a hill. So it's really cool. I'll do another video about that. Actually, I'm gonna do this video. I'm gonna show this video after that video. So there will be a video about that I'll do and post first, because I never did talk about it. But anyway, I just kind of want to give an update on our current situation. So I'm trying to update everything. So basically, we're my plan is I have to be out at the end of the month, and I could go rent another place probably if I really wanted to. Rents in San Pedro are going for around like, I mean, you could get like a one bedroom for about, I want to say 1,500 a month. Which is, you know for LA, that's cheap, right? Like that's what a one bedroom should be. I mean, you can get a two bedroom for like 2,000, right? In LA, in the core of LA right now, one bed studio apartments are going for 1,500. It's ridiculous, man. Honestly, it's just stupid. And so at least in San Pedro, I felt like I could get ahead. Um, this was supposed to be a temporary situation, but as usual, whenever I get comfortable and get settled, I start falling into this like middle class spell. That's the only way I can describe it. It's like, you start thinking, oh, this is kind of cool. You start having that, what was that show? It was in the 50s, the traditional 50s family, Harriet and somebody. I can't remember the name, but, this little, the nuclear family with the white picket fence. And I mean, we've just been so indoctrinated with the idea that, like, that's normal. Like that's what we have to aspire to be normal people. And so where was I? I was talking about getting settled, and like, I'll start every time I get to a place, I start falling into that, and I realized, it's because I have this. mentality, like this idea that like, oh, I'll finally be legitimate. I'll finally be normal. I'll finally be a normal person, a legitimate citizen person, accepted person, whatever, you know. And I watched my family, my extended family, go through that process. My mom, my brother, my sister. I mean, I guess my sister's doing it, you know. But dang, you know, I'll talk about that in another video. But you know, we've been on this nomadic journey in Los Angeles going on 3 years, and it's been a while. So, you know, there's a part of you that thinks, I just want to be normal, right? But what's the freaking price? Anyway, I'm on a philosophical rant, so let me stop, come back. I was talking about my current situation, so I'll do philosophical rants on another video. But basically, I just wanted to give an update. So basically, my plan is to get an RV at the end of the month, and I am expecting some money, about $2,000 by then, hopefully. And so my plan is to buy an RV for 2,000, and you know, so I'm kind of, I don't know, apprehensive about it. I feel like it's time to make that move, right? I got to actually do this, right? I mean, you know, I don't know. I spent so much money on renting. You know, it's like even this situation, the last since I mean it's great. Don't get me wrong, but since you know the last 5 months, 4 months, whatever, it's been about $5,000. You know, I mean I could have bought a good RV for that. You know, I mean, you can get a decent RV for $5,000 or $10,000, right? And you know, being here has been good. It's helped us get back on our feet and kind of get oriented and all that stuff. And um, so you know, I feel like now is time to make that move. I mean, I wasn't planning to make that move really. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I was starting to get settled into this middle class thing. You know, like weird, man. I started thinking, oh, maybe I could buy one of these townhouses, and these townhouses are pretty cool, and I could settle here and all this stuff. And it's like, well, I guess life had other plans. And I was like, oh, I'll get an office around the corner and all this stuff. I'll settle into San Pedro. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I like San Pedro, and if I had to settle anywhere in Los Angeles, this is where I would settle. So I still plan to be in this area, but um, you know, I'm gonna do the RV thing. I'm gonna try. Um, I gotta get something. I gotta own something. I can't. I gotta stop this madness. You know, like it's hurting me in so many ways. I can't even begin to tell you. Like, jeez. You know, first of all, you know, as you may or may not know, um, well, anyway, I have some other work I need to do, some like spiritual work, you could call it, my purpose work or whatever. And I'll go into that in another video, but you know, I never have time for it, right? And so I work another job, you know, a business I have to make the money to pay the bills, and that job is mostly to pay the rent, primarily. And you know, it's like it takes up half my time. It's stressful. By the time I finish it, it takes me a couple days to decompress so I can get in the mode to do the work I really want to do. And it's just like a big thorn in my side. You know, it's just always been that way. And, you know, I started thinking, oh, how can I, like, you know, make money with my passion work, blah, 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 blah. But you know what I realized? I realized a lot of all that dynamic, which a lot of people are experiencing, is driven by time payments, you know, rent and mortgage payments and credit card payments and debt, you know, and living the lifestyle we deserve. You know, it's like basically the devil coming and saying, "Hey, forget your dream, man. You know, I can give you the lifestyle you deserve. Just sign on the dotted line." And that's what it's like, man. And you know, it's like, you know, I start thinking, oh, maybe I could do both. You know, anyway, again, another tangent. I will come back to that. That's another video. I just want to give an update again. It's just that this update is related to all those things, you know, so it's hard to keep it on one topic. It's like this multi-dimensional thing. It's all related to all these things. So, so basically, that's my plan. So I don't know. I At first I was really nervous about the whole thing because it took me time to reorient like my thinking. First I was thinking I'm gonna settle here. I'm gonna rent a place. I'm gonna buy a place. The traditional thing, right? Then it was like, no, you know, you're not gonna do that. Um, so I'm gonna do the RV thing. Like I said, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna give it a shot. I figure, hey, what can it hurt, right? It's like we try it for a month. Maybe we run around struggling like a bunch of homeless bums or something, suffering to death. That's the image, right? Like that you have, you know, some people in a rundown RV living under a bridge or something. It's like, but even if it was like that, it's like, you know, we can always come out of it, right? I can go back to my mother-in-law's. I could rent another place. I could do Airbnb. I could do hotels. I could do whatever. But I think it'll be fine, and I think it'll force us to really like learn to survive and thrive in that way. Some things you just can't understand until you do them, right? And on this channel, I've been talking about all this RV stuff, but I don't actually live it yet. It's just theory for me. So yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. And so I've been looking at some RVs. I actually started first. I thought of some boats, honestly. There's a really cool marina here called Cabrillo Marina, and it's a fishing town, so there's boats. And so I started googling like Craigslist. I looked at boats and stuff, and I have this thing for boats, so that idea kind of like sailboats. I kind of love sailboats and all that. My wife didn't like the idea though. She hates water and boats and all that stuff, and so she wasn't keen on the boat thing. But they had sailboats for $3,500. You can get a 20-foot sailboat, which is enough for one person for real. Like it had a bed, it had a kitchen, it had sails, and it's in the marina. You can get that for $3,500. That is like I'm just like wow, that's amazing. And there's a whole bunch like that. Um, this one brand, I forgot what it's called. I can't remember. So, but anyway, and then there was a bigger one going for 10,000, and with the owner finance. These sell people seem to be pretty desperate to sell their boats, man. I mean, I don't know, but assuming it comes with a liveaboard slip, that could be a pretty good arrangement. Um, the one for 10 could have worked. And I was thinking about that, and then I found this giant 40-foot schooner with two masts. It was huge. The back of it had like a pirate ship room, with the windows in the back. And we definitely could have lived on that thing. And I was going for 20,000, right? I don't see it anymore, which is kind of disappointing. But I was like, that can work. It's like so. I'm still torn between RV and a boat thing. Although honestly, between the two, I feel like RVs are better. Honestly, they're less work, they're cheaper. You can go more places with RVs. They're just more practical. With a boat, you got to learn about the whole boat thing. They're more expensive, more maintenance. You're kind of trapped in the marina unless you're going to sail somewhere up and down the coast. And I don't know. I mean, boats are cool, but the bottom line is it's going to be more work and stuff, and you're kind of trapped in the marina. Whereas an RV, you can go anywhere. You know, so I mean, maybe RVs aren't as cool as boats, but they're definitely more practical for sure. So, um, but yeah, a boat's it's interesting. So I'm still thinking about the boat thing. But a lot of what was driving that was this idea of me being permanent in San Pedro. So I was just thinking, oh, I'll live on a boat in San Pedro, right? But then, once I started thinking about an RV, I was thinking, man, wait, I can get into LA, I could travel around, when when we're not working or going to school, we can travel, we can just get up and go wherever, right? And I thought, yeah, if for some reason we just decide to move, we can just go. Like, so I think an RV is a better option. So I started looking at some RVs and on Craigslist. I'm also going to look at some auctions and tow yards. You know, that was recommended to me by another YouTuber, and I'm gonna do that. But I saw some in San Diego and here. That's kind of where I looked, and I don't know. There's, I wasn't really happy with what I found. I mean, some of them look pretty crappy. I guess the main thing is like, is it there's like four issues like, how well does everything work on it? Like, does the engine work? The transmission, the brakes, tires, like that, like the main truck part, and the main rig part, and then from there the other stuff, like the tanks and all that stuff. Because if the drivetrain works well, then you can fix all that other stuff. I mean, yeah. So all those other things are replaceable and fixable. So after that, the issue was like, how does it look? Does it look like a Mad Max RV? And LA is everyone the main. I'm gonna do a video about LA, another video, but um, the thing you gotta know about LA is like one of the values. Every place you go to has values, like a value system, right? Like, what are their values? So in LA, it's how you look, right? Like, how things look are really important in LA. Whereas in Seattle, they're not. So that's not a value in Seattle, but here it is, and you will be judged by how you look and how your thing looks and all that. So that's a factor because we'll be treated differently depending on how nice our RV is, right? But I'm not that worried about that because as long as it has potential, like it doesn't have any structural damage on it, like you see some where the front's bent and taped up and all that, and like that's not going to happen. But if it's just like a dried out paint job and a fresh paint will make it look new again, that's fine. I'll just get it painted or I'll paint it myself. But my family, they're kind of like, eh. My wife's kind of like, eh. She's like, I don't want to be in no ugly RV and all this crap. And it's like, I keep telling her we can just fix it up. It's like, it's us. It's like, what can we do to make it work? It's not always about just buying something and being powerless to change it. And that's this whole consumer mentality that we've been taught, and I'm trying to break out of it. It's like, we can create and build the life we want. We don't have to just buy it all the time. And that's another video. God, I got like 20 videos on this stuff in my mind. So that's what I've been looking at. It's constantly changing, So I'm just gonna wait till I, get this $2,000, and then I'm gonna start looking. Hopefully, I can find something decent before the end of the month. Worst case scenario, I'll just rent an Airbnb for a week while I fix it up, a week or two. So that's that part. I mean, as far as like where we're gonna stay with it, I have no idea yet. I mean, the permanent part of me is thinking, oh, maybe I can rent someone's backyard or their driveway, or someone has some land, or maybe there's an RV park somewhere that can work. That's not too expensive. Um, I don't know, but the thing is, like, once I have it and I'm in it, I'll have time to figure this out. Like, I'll be out of that rent cycle, so there'll be less time pressure. And that was another thing. Like, just being in this rent situation, it puts you in this time consciousness. It's like, and you're just born into that, and and you just think, oh, everything is time, 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 and I don't have any time. And a lot of it's because we have these time payments. It's like we have to pay rent every month, we have to pay the mortgage payment every month, we have to pay the credit cards every month. It's like, and that's all a creation, really. A recent one. It was a time when nothing was time based. It was all like you owned it or you didn't. I mean, I guess they've had apartments since the Roman times, but for the most part, it wasn't credit. No one had credit. Only business people did, and kings and stuff. It's like this 20th century phenomenon of credit is like the thing. So um, I realized if I could just get an RV, then I'll have time. I mean, sure, I'll have to figure out where we're going to sleep, where we're going to park, but it's like That's just a matter of starting up and moving it, right? Like, and there's food and water, gas, but other than that, it's like I'm not gonna have that mega guillotine of like my whole life being oriented around some big payment at some time. So, so if we can just get in it and it's decent, oh, we'll be fine. And then I can solve these other problems. I can always drive around, find a place to park, find all those solutions. So, but the thing is that I'm looking forward to, honestly, is taking all that money that I've been paying to rent, even though my rent's relatively cheap for LA, for our situation, but still, taking all that money and being able to save it towards, you know, investing in ourselves and in some property that we own, even if it's a boat or a nice RV or some land or something, But this idea of like, you know, most of my money just going to rent and stuff is just ridiculous. And then what's the way out of that? Make more money. That's exactly what they want you to think. They don't want you to, and who is they? I'll get into they later, but the man, it's like that's exactly what they want you to think. It's like they don't want you to look at the root of the problem, which is the fact that you were in this time payment scenario. They want you to just accept that as reality and start thinking, well, I could make more money. I could work harder. Like they love that crap. Yeah, work harder for them, right? It's like, geez. Anyway, I could go on about that forever. I mean, I've really just, woke up to this whole scam that's going on in our society. I think back to my parents and my mom and all the struggles she had and how much of it was related to this and how she just accepted that. No one even questioned it. It's just like water. It's just around you. Like you don't even question it, till you have a wake up moment like I did. Anyway, so that's it. This video is getting too long. I will give more updates as time progresses, but that's kind of what's happening now. I'm kind of for now calling it RV 2.0. All right, talk to you soon.